you've ever wondered why relationships are so hard for you, why you feel insecure in your relationships, or why you push people away, well, this might be why. There are 4 core relationship wounds that can occur in childhood that show up as relationship patterns or dynamics for us as adults. Those are abandonment, rejection, neglect, and betrayal. And if you don't recognize them, they are going to continue to show up in your relationships again and again. So in today's video, what we're going to do is we're going to dive deep into each of those 4 childhood wounds and how they show up in relationships so you can identify them when they come up and begin to alter the way that you show up in your own relationships and heal from these childhood wounds so you can have better, stronger, and longer lasting relationships in your life. If you're new here, my name is Wes and I'm a couples therapist, and this channel is devoted to helping you improve your relationships and your mental health to help you improve your life. Now, without further ado, let's get started with the first wound. The abandonment wound happens when a child feels like they've been left, either emotionally or physically. This could mean that a parent actually physically left, like through divorce, absence, or death. But it can also mean emotional abandonment, when a parent wasn't as emotionally attuned or available as they needed to be, maybe because the parent was depressed or was abusing substances in the household. They may have been physically there, but not emotionally there. All of these things can lead to a feeling of abandonment by the child. Imagine being a little kid reaching for your mom and she's just not there. Maybe she's overwhelmed. Maybe she's checked out. But to you, it feels like you don't matter. And your nervous system learns love is unreliable. People leave. Fast forward to adulthood. Now, when you sense the slightest amount of distance, maybe people aren't texting back fast enough, maybe they need space, you panic, you overthink, or you reject them first before they can leave you. You're not needy, you're not broken. Your nervous system was just wired to believe that love isn't safe. The next wound is the rejection wound, which causes you to shut down when people get close. Rejection happens when, as a child, you learn that expressing your needs, wants, desires was not okay. Maybe your parents told you that you were too much. Maybe every time you cried, you heard, "Stop being dramatic." Or maybe you just felt like you were never quite what your parents wanted you to be. Imagine a little boy showing his dad something that he made, just wanting to be seen, and his dad barely looks up. The little boy learns that love is conditional and who he is isn't enough. You can see this a lot in households where it's all about making good grades and love is equated with success or academic performance. The child begins to learn that they're only going to be loved if they meet a certain performance threshold or achieve certain things in life. This creates a lot of anxiety. And now, as an adult, you fear rejection. So you reject yourself first. You may prioritize independence and achievement over getting close to people. You pretend that you don't care what other people think or how other partners might feel about you. You reject other people before you can really get close. And it's not because you're bad at relationships. You just learned that love meant losing yourself. The next wound is the neglect wound, or why you feel like you have to handle everything alone. Neglect isn't just about being left alone. It's about never being emotionally supported in the way that you need. Maybe your parents were too busy. Maybe they were overwhelmed, or maybe they just didn't know how to handle emotions. So every time you were sad, scared, or needed comfort, you had to soothe yourself. Imagine being a kid crying alone in your room and no one comes to check on you. Over time, you learn, I have to handle everything by myself. I can't rely on anyone. Now in relationships, you don't let people in. You don't ask for help. You act like you don't need anything. Because needing something in the past always led to disappointment. You had to fend for yourself, and that's what you do now. Here's the truth. Independence is great, but connection is what really heals us and what really fuels us as human beings. We are mammals who are driven by attachment to other people. We are stronger together, and it's safe to let love in. The last wound is the betrayal wound, why you struggle to trust your partner or why you struggle to trust others. Betrayal happens when someone that you trusted broke that trust in some way. This could be a parent who promised stability but created chaos, a caregiver who said, I'll always be there and then wasn't, or even a childhood experience of being lied to or manipulated by someone who was close to you. Imagine a child really wants his father's support and his father tells him that I'll be there after school to pick you up. And then the dad doesn't show. Maybe the dad has something else going on at work, and so he couldn't pick up his kid from school. Maybe the dad got really busy at work and just forgot. Maybe the dad is dealing with drug or alcohol problems. One betrayal isn't going to cause a childhood wound like this, but doing this again and again and again erodes trust. And eventually, over time, the kid begins to stop believing people's words altogether. Now, when someone tells you that they love you, that they'll be there for you, you don't trust it. You always look for signs that they're lying. You're on edge, always waiting for the moment that they're going to let you down. And even when someone is consistent, it almost feels uncomfortable. Like you can't really believe it. And that means that you can't fully relax either. But here's the thing, not everyone is your past, and trust is not built overnight. You have to give people a chance to build trust with you. And you can't do that unless you are vulnerable in your relationships and allow them the chance to do so. Trust can be rebuilt in your relationships, but one safe relationship at a time. If any of these wounds sound familiar, I want you to hear this. You are not broken. These patterns were learned, and anything that has been learned can be unlearned over time. Healing starts with awareness, recognizing these patterns when they show up, recognizing the harm that they're causing you and your partner, and figuring out ways to respond differently in the moment can eventually change these patterns over time. Through therapy, learning how to regulate your nervous system, especially when relationship anxiety comes up that's related to one of these core wounds, and choosing safe, secure relationships, all can slowly rewire your brain over time. It didn't start with you, but it can end with you. So let me know down in the comments below if any of these resonated with you. And please remember to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if this content was interesting or helpful to you. And please consider supporting this channel by subscribing and telling other people about it. It's really through word of mouth that channels like this survive and thrive. So if there's other topics that you want me to cover in the future, please let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much.